the Americas were being settled, Indigenous leaders fought being confined to reservations and to keep their culture and traditions alive. Many prophesied the Red Nations would rise after 7 generations. And it would be a blessing for a troubled world, a world where our land and water are at risk, a world where our youth feel broken and Native women are threatened. Today, a spirit of resistance is in the air. Our struggle is a global struggle. If we fail, the world does too. Armed with our mics, the 7th generation rises.
My name is Juan. I am a 25-year-old Indigenous hip-hop artist from the Rosebud Reservation in South Dakota.
Aboriginal soul, I got this aboriginal flow. I got this pain that I can't shake. Ties to my people I can't break. Got this history in my blood. Got my tribe that shows me love. So when I rise, you rise, yeah. Come on, let's rise, get it.
Well, the music is my shield and my weapon, and I think that's why I'm able to be vulnerable, but also able to pack a punch at the same time.
This music is like bringing back the culture, our history.
Growing up on the reservation was pretty tough. I was raised by my mother and aunties who run a ranch back home. That's why I'm where I'm at today. My mom and my dad were together until I was 4. It was a pretty violent relationship.
89, he say hello, he says goodbye, daddy left. When
my dad's kind of a deadbeat. The last time I saw my dad was 4 or 5 years ago, just in passing, and he saw me and he didn't acknowledge me. I was raised by a family who lives off of the land. So from a very young age, I understood our responsibility.
Water is life. We're the keepers of the land. We respect her and we're connected to her. Well, I remember when Uncle Bad was still living, he said, they're going to be fighting for water, but he didn't. He said in about 60, 70 years, but it's coming sooner than what he said.
You know, I think about our little cousins. Think about that as a reality for them. It's pretty scary, you know?
Yeah.
There's a lot of scary stuff when you think about what can happen, but there's also a lot of hope if we just keep fighting and trying to fight for what's right, you know?
Hi, I'm Natanya Nez. I am from Chinle, Arizona. My tribes are Oglala Lakota, Dene.
I'm not a rapper, I'm an activist who rhymes.
What I talk about in my music is a lot of the social issues we face as young American Indians in the 21st century. Suicide's prevalent on American Indian reservations. We have the highest rate of suicide in the country. As kids don't feel like they can talk to anybody, and they just give up. And what I could do as an artist is just tell them, write down your story, man, I'll listen to it. There are times there where I felt like giving up, but I didn't. With my music, I'm trying to reach out to the society that isn't knowledgeable about our struggles. We're the original people on this land, and we're forgotten about and pushed to the side. And I'm trying to reach these kids that live here on the reservation and install a sense of pride.
My name is Mike Cliff. People also call me Wheatco. I'm an Oglala Lakota artist from Pine Ridge, South Dakota, and I'm a graphic designer. I'm also a rapper and stage performer, so it all just mashes together. I feel like it's my duty to give back to the community. I mean, that's one of my main goals, is to give back to where I'm from. Making it off the reservation, I just want kids to see that they can do whatever they want to do. I met Natanya in school, and we just kind of hit it off. We're the same age, and he's Oglala Lakota as well.
First time we met, man, he came up to me and he was like, "Are you from Pine Ridge?" I was like, "Yeah." He's like, "From Porcupine." He shook my hand, and we didn't even get each other's names.
I asked him to design for my album cover. He does all my flyers, everything, and we just work together.
I have to be a rebel just to be myself. My name's Inez Jasper. I'm from the Squakale First Nation. I started out as a nurse, and when I was going to school to be a nurse, I started to write music. So now I'm a singer, songwriter, and performer. My main goal in my career is to spread positivity, inspiration, and motivate young Indigenous people. My music, my message is important. It can change the way people feel about themselves. A big part of our female sensuality and sexuality have been threatened in such a negative way. There's such a long history about Indigenous women being abused and mistreated. There's thousands of missing and murdered Indigenous women in this land. As a result of that, I found that, in my family, in our community, people want to protect Indigenous women, so they say, don't draw negative attention to yourself. Don't wear makeup, or don't dress provocatively, otherwise you're asking for it. And at the same time, I feel like it's really important to embrace and reclaim our identity as sensual and sexual human beings in a safe way.
I'll be up there on Sunday because I have a show in the Black Hills. Yeah, I'll be up there already, for sure. Thanks for calling. I'll see you in South Dakota. All right, so that was Tiny. Everything's worked out. Good looks on hooking that up, bro.
Yeah. We just got a call from Tiny. She's a long-time health administration worker for the tribe.
And we're doing a suicide prevention workshop with her in Pine Ridge. So we're gonna have some fun with the kids and talk with them.
I work for the Sweetgrass program, which is a suicide prevention, but we also do a lot of intervention. In Native countries, suicide is a nasty disease. It's an epidemic.
As suicidal tendencies tend to plague the youth at a teen age.
Music has a way of reaching a young person's mind. Just a person that you could positively look up to could switch your mind from wanting to end your life. I believe in these young kids living.
I used to live right back here. Man, this looks like ain't nobody been here in a long time. This was my territory right here, growing up. I remember a guy had a shootout with the police right behind the trailer. Growing up around here, you grow up on your own. I moved on. I love my people, I love this place, but I'm not gonna go back to my old ways, that's for sure. Just trying to move forward.
This is our community.
I was in college and I watched this video.
Who gave them the permission to come through the reservation?
Her name's Marie Randall. She was 92 at the time. She's out there on the front lines, man, and she's speaking to my generation, saying, Takoja, which means grandchild. Someone has to protect our land.
You're all Lakotas. Stand up for your rights.
My ancestors fought and died for me to even be alive. I have a responsibility. If we don't pick up that fight, then who will?
Red. First off, I send love to Marie for giving us hope in this Lakota Sioux.
The song Oil for Blood came about from seeing the resistance back home that really inspired me. Well, I wanted to be on the front lines, but I couldn't. So I did the only thing I knew how to do. I made a song, tried to capture that spirit of resistance. This is what I'm born to do. Performing something that I created, doing something that I love, with people that I love, protecting something that I love.
I do think that a lot of the stereotypes that exist about our people have perpetuated the problem of missing and murdered Indigenous women. A lot of the cases are not being solved.
There was recently a Royal Canadian Police report that released the cases of nearly 1,200 Indigenous women in this country who are missing or murdered. If this situation was happening in the non-Indigenous community, there would be a large public outcry.
To not pay attention to it is dismissing those people as non-human. I saw this news feed. This 15-year-old girl's body was found. She was sexually assaulted. Later, the story develops that she was picked up with a drunk driver. The drunk driver was taken in by the police, and she was left on the street. And we don't know what happened to her from there. We're losing women in our community for no reason. People can't ignore this anymore.
It really feels like since the Tina Fontaine case has exploded, that things are different. The fact that her story is resonating across the world as it is gives me hope that it's not going to take another 15-year-old baby wrapped in plastic for us to act. Drag the Red is our community's response to the lack of action from authorities.
We're looking for evidence or bodies of any missing peoples here in our community.
It makes me feel really good to know that our people are taking this work into our own hands.
We have crews that walk the banks, and we have us dragging. 2 bodies were discovered.
If authorities aren't going to do it, then we should do it.
It's important to have artists like Inez. They reach more people. They can help bring more awareness.
For me, as a grassroots activist, I'm absolutely grateful that you're taking your responsibility to the village and really bring an issue that could potentially save some lives to the forefront.
When you have a race of people who has 7 times greater suicide rate than the non-Indian, that's the urgency. A Native culture, it's something we're not supposed to talk about. We can't anymore. We plan a suicide awareness day where Natanya and Mike will be going into the schools and talking to the kids because they have powerful stories to tell.
Visions of my father staring at me. I was in high school just like you guys, had a 1.5 GPA. I didn't care about college. My brother got me into school. So I owe my life to my brother. I encourage all of you, whatever you want to do, no matter what it is, you could do it.
Our young people are rising to the occasion.
We're the 7th generation, a nation rising on the reservations, here to bring pride to my people and justice for the ones on the inside. Thank you, Pine Ridge.
We gotta convince the families that suicide is not the Lakota way.
Your cousin last night just Facebooked life or something.
His mom is an alcoholic. He has no choice but to live with her. I remember times where I was feeling the same way. I wish I could take my little brother with me, but I can't. Like, I barely take care of myself, you know what I mean? And he has a chance, and I definitely will help him by showing him. How's everything at home?
It's boring. Small town basement, nothing to do.
Yeah, and like I always see you depressed, man. Even after I talk to you, I don't like, you know. I just want you to know there's still something else, you know?
Yeah.
As miserable as it is here, there's, you know, all you have to do is work hard right now because you'll eventually be out in the world doing your thing just like I am. I think no one cares about you, bro. I think about you every day. I want to guide you and help you, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
All this stuff that's going on, all this bad stuff, man, it just makes you a better person. One day you're gonna look back and be like, man. Man. Yeah. Then when you get out, you can come back and help Malachi. Malachi will be ready. He'll be in the same spot you're at when you get done, you know? We all love you, man. It's just everybody else is having a tough time.
We're at the Wounded Knee site right now, where the last massacre of the 1800s happened. This is where the Wounded Knee siege also happened in 1973. My father was a part of it. It's a pretty powerful place. It's easy to feel defeated, especially from where we come from, the reservations, and how much dysfunction is here and how much sadness and hurt is here. And you have to see that every day. Our children are at stake. We can't find a certain way to reach these kids. We lose our language, we lose our identity, we lose our way of life.
Up in Canada near Fort McMurray, there's this huge tar sands mine. It's on Indigenous land. For 5 years, the people from that land, they've been doing a walk around the tar sands to bring a bunch of different groups together for solidarity. Indigenous folks from Canada reached out to me and they brought me up.
I was born on the red, raised on the red, born on the red, raised on the red.
My great-grandchildren standing right here beside me. I have nothing to offer them back home in Cold Lake because the oil companies have polluted our land.
It was a lot. It was overwhelming, seeing this devastation firsthand, seeing what it does to these people. I'm still processing it all. We stopped and prayed in front of this lake. Like, this lake is so toxic that there's random explosions, gunshots to keep birds from landing. And to see this Indigenous grandma praying and weeping because of what's being done to them and what's being done to the earth, I'll never forget how that made me feel. The fight we're having back home connects and relates directly to this devastation that's happening up here.
I tell everybody that everywhere I go, this kid is for real. There's not enough young men, our men, in this movement. He walks his talk.
I'm gonna definitely take what I experienced here and try to relay that message to people back home. As tough as it was for me to see all this, it was also in an odd way inspiring. That anger and that frustration of seeing that kind of drives me. I am inspired.
I came home and spoke to some of my friends and asked them, what is happening in our territory?
My cousin, she was murdered on the Highway of Tears.
The thought of it overwhelms me.
Yeah. Like how many of us have been touched by it or connected to it?
I'm thinking about our nieces. I'm thinking about our family.
You already have a huge fan base of young women following you, right? So I see why this is feeling so heavy for you, and like it's something you have to do.
One of the things I've been thinking about was putting on one of these self-defense classes. Well, maybe we have an opportunity here to launch something preventative.
I really want to thank Inez for giving us an opportunity to do something for our community.
I was really interested in doing this class to see who would come out, because it's maybe people thinking that they are worried that they may need to learn how to protect themselves.
Somebody grabs you by the wrist, tries to bring you anywhere. The easiest thing we're going to do is touch our pinky to his wrist.
I want women to leave this class feeling empowered.
Break out. There you go.
Like they have the tools and the skills, not necessarily to fight people, but to escape if someone's trying to hold them down or exert their force over them.
I've been attacked before and I had no idea what to do, so I was very fortunate to come across this class. I feel way more confident. I feel more safe.
So again, guys, I want to thank you for just kind of letting us do this. And none of you guys know, but my cousin was found in downtown East Side. They just found a part of a remain of her. So it's pretty close to home for me. I always want to build a better community.
I know that I'm one person and I can't change the world, but I can hopefully use my pull as an artist to influence my audience, and hopefully we together can make some change. We can empower the young women like my daughter to learn how to walk through this world boldly, but carefully. That's why people are marching in the street of Winnipeg. That's why there's a roadblock in Eastern Canada. People are saying something has to change, and we've been saying these systems need to change for years. We're calling for a national inquiry into this issue. If we look into them and we gather evidence, make recommendations, we can make changes.
We have the opportunity to go to New York and spread our music for this Climate People's March. And we look forward to working with, Frank Juan and Inez Jasper. She's putting on for Canadian Aboriginals. We're trying to do our people proud. Pops, we're trying to do you proud.
Well, I'm really proud of you guys for role models, good role models for our little ones here. Hope you guys really have a nice trip.
Thank you!
New York. New York.
We're here in New York on our way to Bushwick Star.
Yeah, we're gonna meet up with Frank and Inez. It's gonna be dope.
Pretty excited about meeting these guys and hearing their music live.
Get your hands in the sky, fists raised high. Get your hands in the sky, fists raised high. One time, a young boy from a third world jungle in the big city now. I'm trying to live humble, long hair, don't touch, don't stare. This is my homie, good friend, Frank Juan. He's gonna bless the stage. Go ahead, get him, Frank.
They took away our wisdom, they took away our health. Say honor the treaties, but first we gotta honor ourselves. In the wild, wild west, y'all, wild west. Living that res life, so stressed.
We're getting ready to gather up for the People's Climate March.
If we come together as a nation, we can stop this injustice.
Yeah, this is our culture, this is our life, this is who we are.
I'm everything right now. I'm excited, I'm scared, I'm happy. This many people coming together for one cause is going to have a huge impact.
What's been interesting this morning is marching with the Indigenous people. What they were facing on the front line of this struggle is what the world will face eventually.
I got 2 braids and a beaded necklace, living young and living reckless. Got a bullet for the next hipster in a headdress. Step aside, I got that C4 flow, I'm ready to blow at any minute.
Oh, you'll never know, don't stop, keep moving, come on, you move slow.
No matter who you are, where you're from, you need land, you need water. We're at a critical time where we have to choose between oil and water. And Lakota people, we choose water.
When I say Hoka, you say hey, Hoka, Hoka. When I say Hoka, you all say hey, Hoka, Hoka.
It's just nice to see people come together, you know what I mean? I haven't seen that There's a lot of people here and there's no problems.
So tomorrow we're actually getting to go into the studio. We get a collab for the first time.
People want to listen, so we're going to use our voice.
When we first started out on this whole journey, we were just trying to be ourselves. We never really were like, oh, I'm going to be an activist. And so that's a theme that we're just rolling with, that we're too much for you, too much to hold, too much to handle.
Truth be told, you're a winner. Never stand down, never fold. Too hot to touch for you. Too much to hold. Truth be told, you're the winner.
If wanting health, happiness, and respect for ourselves and our families and our people makes us rebels, then what are we saying about society, you know? We're just trying to see a day when that doesn't make us rebels.
Your revolution will unfold.
We really share the same vision of creating art based on our experience as young Indigenous people in a safe and healthy way.
Truth be told, you're the winner.
I need y'all to clap. Let's go!
It means a lot to us that you're here, really. My grandma's even coming to the show and she never comes to see me perform. She's coming out for you. This journey has really showed me that maybe this gift that I have, maybe this life of mine, maybe this path that has found me means that I'm meant for the people. I'm not so much meant for myself or my loved ones anymore. When standing up for your land and your water and the health of your people is cool, that's when I'll be able to rest. That's when I'll be able to chill.
How everything worked out was just how it was supposed to work out. We got the opportunity to go speak to these children, and they got someone to look up to like that. And that's the greatest feeling in the world, for reaching them. We're reaching them through this tool. And I think Mike seeing the power in people, the power in speaking in front of a child and just basically telling him your story so he could relate to that. That might have changed that child's life. And I think Mike really took that in. It's a hard journey and I'm still going through it. There's gonna be some points where you're gonna wanna go no more. Rise above it. I hope he's proud. But sometimes I just wish I could ask him some questions. He passed away before all this really took off. He's proud. Proud of all of us. Really is up to us, man.
I'm starting to really see the impact that my music has on the community. In the last few months, the issue of murdered and missing Indigenous women struck a chord in my heart. We need everybody. Not one person can do it alone. I can't do it alone. The elders can't do it alone. They need young people to get on board, and we need our voices to come together as one.
I've never in my lifetime seen our people come together like this. Never seen non-natives pay attention to us like they are now. Our issues are finally being talked about outside of our communities. There's a spirit of resistance. I can feel it in the air. It's a great time to be alive as an Indigenous person.
Too hot to touch for you. Too much to hold. Truth be told, you're the winner. Never stand down, stay bold. Too hot to touch for you. Too much to hold.
Let's ride with it.
Truth be told, you're the winner. Your revolution will unfold.
Ride with me down to the belly of the beast. Meet between these dirt streets and this concrete. Yelling freedom from my people till the day that I die. Let out this war cry from my people in the sky. So let me pray to the east, where my sages say my peace. Naturally you couldn't handle me, and this vanity has damaged me. Lost inside the cycle, still I pray for my family. Damn it, we grew up inside insanity. Middle finger up to the flag you saluting. Back into a corner, revolution, the solution. This is for the women, stolen, forced, and prostitution. And I'm repping for my brethren, 7th Jan stepping. Got the Smith & Wesson, know these words as my weapon. So Frank, let's reclaim and revolt. Got the black hills and they'll never be sold. And that gold they were searching for is deep in our soul. This was foretold.
Too hot to touch for you. Too much to